And we start with breaking news on this Thursday morning, a deadly house fire on the northwest side of town.
Okay, so we're going to show you a map of where this happened. If this is in your area, you might want to call one of your family members if they live here. We got very own Patty Santos, who is live at the scene this morning. You've been there for I'd say a couple hours now. How is everything looking?
Hey, yeah, this is in the South Hill Road community. This is near Babcock and 410. I want to show you the house that we're talking about right now. We know that an elderly woman in her 70s, late 70s, did die in this house fire. At this point, we are told that she lived here alone and that she did not have any other family members, but she was well taken care of by some of her neighbors. She lived here for a long time. We know that the police department showed up here pretty quickly. Two officers tried to go inside the house, but the smoke, they just could not make entry. Shortly after, the fire department went in and they did find her inside the house. We are still trying to gather more information, more details this morning. But again, this woman here, a woman in her late 70s that lived inside the house, has died as a result of this fire. We'll bring you more updates as we get them. I'll send it back to you.
That's tough.
Patty,
Very tough news to start our Thursday morning with. And let's go now to Justin with a check of today's forecast. Justin.
Yes. Okay. So let's go outside for you. We'll show you that we have some morning clouds and temperatures right now in the upper 70s, 79 degrees at the airport, 78 New Braunfels, 78 Converse. Your feels like numbers are already trending into the 80s. So, even at this time of morning, we're already getting heat index values. Yesterday, the heat index ended up around 98, 99. I would imagine that's exactly where we'll be again today. So you look at the forecast here, some morning clouds, and we break out in the sun. 84 at 11 o'clock noontime, 86, and then high temperature right around 93. There is a 10% chance of a shower. Don't get your hopes up. If we see anything, it'll be brief, and most of that's going to be a little closer to the coast, but we just can't completely rule it out here in San Antonio. And coming up a little bit later, we're going to get an update in the drought monitor, and this is, I don't want to say highly anticipated, but we want to see where we're going to end up after all this rain. Hopefully, we will see some vast improvement in the drought monitor, and as soon as we get that in, again, we're expecting that around 8:30 or 9, we will pass that along to you and get you that update. Speaking of updates, let's go over to RJ, who's back in the building.
All right, yes.
For updates on the road.
All right, thank you very much for that, Justin. Let's take a look at your traffic authority. 37 at 181. Traffic is looking pretty good out there for our drivers on the southeast side of town. We are dealing with a lot of construction across our area right now. That's 35 at Topperwine, both lanes north and southbound traffic being affected at the moment. And 1604, though, that's going to be one of our biggest issues. Here's another look there at Topperwine. Basically, our southbound traffic at a bit of a standstill at the moment. So let's take you back to the north side of town. This area has seen a lot of construction in the past couple of hours or so. Still dealing with some construction right here at 10 at 1604, Northwest Military, Lock Hill, Selma. But it looks like things have kind of opened up right there at 1604 and Hebner Road. Let's give you one more shot here of the west side of town. This is 151 and 410 over by SeaWorld. This area looks a lot better than what we just saw over the past 30 minutes or so. So yeah, just dealing with a lot of construction in several parts of the city. We're going to keep an eye on the situation on the northeast side of town. Let's go to Alex Gomez right now in Drive Cam for us on this Thursday morning and see what Alex is up to on the roads. Alex?
RJ, good morning and happy Friday, Junior. Right now, I just made it to the northeast side. This is going to be 410 eastbound near Starcrest, and we have some construction right over here in this area too. You can see right there, 2 left lanes are blocked, so just be careful for that. It's Juneteenth, it's a holiday, so surprisingly, we do have construction taking place on this side of town, so I'll keep you updated, but somebody should send these workers home. Welcome back, RJ.
All right, thank you very much for that, Alex, and we will continue to keep an eye in the roads with Drive Cam.
5:04 now. Today marks 1 week since those deadly floods.
And we're remembering the lives lost, community members gathering to pay their respects to the 13 people who died in those historic floods that we saw last week. The night team's Zaria Oates was there at that vigil.
My heart definitely goes out to all these families.
For them to come out, and some of these people that I've spoken to don't have relatives or wasn't involved, and they're still here to support. So my heart is filled with gratitude more than anything.
My dad was a very he believed in God. He believed that everything happened in accordance to God's will. So as unfortunate as this might be, I say it again, do not let this break y'all, bro.
In moments like these, we can trust that San Antonio will come together.
They told us how dangerous it was to search, and we searched for 12 hours or more for Derwin.
Can't think of the last time something like this has happened here in San Antonio.
So they neglected us, and we are going to fight. And we are going to fight for all the families out here that don't have the strength to fight. And we're not going to let it go. So we are gathering contact information, we are gathering resources, and we're going to fight out of love.
We're going to understand what happened here, how we can do better, and I just wanted to express my condolences.
That was Zaria Oates reporting. All right, switching gears now. San Antonio, of course, we still have a new mayor. This is Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones at her swearing-in ceremony. We got video playing of that. She's flying out today to attend the annual meeting of the U.S. Conference of Mayors in Tampa. The mayor, along with several new members of the San Antonio City Council, took their oaths of office. Jones is a former undersecretary of the Air Force under Joe Biden and made 2 successful congressional bids. This is her first elected office. And she talked about city infrastructure and, of course, last week's flooding that devastated families.
I want to extend certainly my personal condolences to the families that have been impacted by that loss. I want to extend my thanks, of course, to our first responders that have worked so hard, as well as those that came into our community to help with those search and, unfortunately, recovery efforts.
So there's a total of 5 new faces on council, and most of them were sworn in yesterday morning, having won their spots in the runoff. A big overhaul of the council as they run up against some big challenges. The multi-billion-dollar Project Marvel plan is at a critical point, especially with figuring out the funding breakdown for a new Spurs arena. And there's uncertainty when it comes to the federal funding and a yawning city budget deficit. A budget goal setting session is scheduled for next Thursday.
And we see Mayor Ron right there passing the torch. While a disturbing discovery on the east side after people in a neighborhood find a dead dog stuffed inside of a suitcase. So we have security video that shows Animal Care Service, and this is what they're calling a possible person of interest. You see that video right there, dropping that suitcase outside someone's home in Dignowity Hill. A report from SAPD says that officers opened the bag last Saturday night around 8 p.m. and saw a small dog wrapped in cotton. They notified ACS, Animal Care Services, says the dog was not microchipped and appears to be a small terrier mix. Neighbors say that they are still in shock.
They can't speak up, they can't protect themselves, and we need to do that protection.
Well, ACS is still trying to find out how that animal died.
So as the Trump administration prepares for potential action against Iran, military reservists are receiving activation orders, including Bexar County Commissioner Grant Moody. Moody is a lieutenant colonel in the Marine Reserves. KSAT spoke with him as he was literally packing up to head to MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, Florida. He says that he'll be assisting with the operational planning and staff to ready support teams. Moody says that he's continuing to carry out his duties as county commissioner remotely.
And we're Military City USA. So I think that, we appreciate that and respect it. And I obviously appreciate my colleagues supporting me in that.
Now, Grant Moody is in Tampa, Florida right now and says that he's participated in commissioner's court remotely before and is fully engaged.
Well, this morning we have a scam alert that CPS Energy wants to warn you about. They're reminding you that they'll never demand payment over the phone. Customers may receive a call from someone claiming to be a representative who say that their power will be disconnected unless you pay that bill over the phone. So CPS telling us that they will not ask for banking or credit card information and will not send payment links via text. If you receive a call from a suspicious so-called CPS Energy spokesperson, hang up and report that phone number to officials.
Right outside with live cam, we've got a cloudy morning and temperatures near 80 degrees. We're going to take you down to the Pacific coming up because we have a major hurricane now. Hurricane Eric intensified in a big way overnight. We'll show you where it's headed coming up.
All right, thank you very much for that, Justin. Well, today is Juneteenth, and coming up, we're going to tell you where you can celebrate. Also, some city and county closures that are happening later on today.
We got a free program in the East and West Side is offering kids an opportunity to learn life skills after the break. What those skills are and how old you need to be to sign up. So much more ahead. And welcome back, RJ.
Hey. 5:13, welcome back. Well, summer is officially here and the kids and teens have been out of school for almost a month now. Idle time could lead to some of them getting into trouble though, but there's a free program that will teach them how to own businesses and market it as well. Jeff.
So it's called the Great Youth T-shirt printing program, and there's room for 20 kids. But here's the problem. Not enough kids know about it or are taking advantage of it. So this is a setup at the Alazana Pachi Court Community Center where computers, supplies, and printing machines are ready to be used. Big Mama's Safe House is hosting the program, and there are two of these shops. They got one on the east and one on the west side. It's open for kids 10 and up. The 8-week program will teach them design, financial literacy, and other life skills.
The end of it is one aspect is having entrepreneurship if those who want to gravitate towards t-shirt and printing. But throughout the course, we're trying to educate them on the safety of gun violence, the safety of community, the safety of themselves.
They have the classes, they get fed breakfast, lunch, and snack, and then they stay out of trouble more than anything. You can find the information and address to both locations right now at KSAT.com. Now, coming up on GMSA, of course, we are going to take a look at some of that crime data that shows us how many kids have been getting into trouble during the summer. But it's good that we have activities like that that'll keep them kind of busy.
Absolutely, yes. I got to make sure that they stay busy during the summer months. Well, today is June 19th, and that means that it is Juneteenth.
Yeah, we got a list of those events scheduled for today and Saturday, following the weekend's annual Juneteenth celebrations. Okay, check it out. Here we go. This weekend was the annual parade that began at Sam Houston High School, ending at Comanche Park. Number 2, where festival was held. Juneteenth celebrations marked June 19th, 1865, which was the day the news of the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation reached the enslaved people of Texas. 2 years after President Abraham Lincoln had signed it, Juneteenth became a federal holiday in 2021.
And one of those events coming up is the Black Contractors Association Juneteenth celebration. This is a free event that will feature speakers, entertainment, and vendors. While the event is free, space is limited. Spots can be reserved on the Black Contractors Association website.
And that's not the only event happening this week, though. We got a full list of those events happening where you can head to KSAT.com or QR code on your screen. Get up and scan it. You'll see exactly what you can participate in.
And because Juneteenth is a federal holiday, that means that we have some closures to tell you about this morning. Banks will be closed along with some municipal or city offices in our area. In addition to offices, San Antonio City Libraries will also be closed. Officials with CPS Energy also say that its offices and customer service centers will be closed to observe the holiday as well. And if you're wondering about garbage and recycling pickup, they will run as normal today.
We got more celebrations coming your way. We got the 4th of July, 2 days from today, where Stars and Stripes on Houston Street is returning this year. It's a 6-day celebration in downtown San Antonio where it starts July 1st. There will also be a special performance by the 300th Army Reserve Band. Plus, you can be a part of that parade. Central SA is accepting entries for parade participation through June 29th. We got a link to registration page on KSAT.com.
All right. Yes. Cannot believe that we're coming up on the 4th of July weekend. And I know that Houston Street's going to be decked out with the Stars and Stripes. Cannot wait to see what they have going on there in that part of downtown. Let's give you a look at some of our TransGuide traffic cameras. And really the biggest thing we're seeing at the moment is going to be some overnight construction, but it looks like we're actually kind of clearing out some of these areas. That's 35 Somerset, no major issues right there. 1604 Gold Canyon on the north side of town, no major issues there as well. 35 at Judson on the northeast side. So let's go ahead and advance this over to the Topper Wine area because we are still seeing some backups over here, basically from O'Connor Road past Topper Wine over to Live Oak and of course Pat Booker and 1604 and 35. But this is going to be our biggest delay at the moment. Again, no major accidents out there according to our folks at TransGuide and Textile. Let's go to Alex Gomez right now in Drive Cam for us on this Thursday morning. Alex, how are we looking, my man?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. I'm checking out construction over here on the northeast side. However, it's not on I-35, it's on 410 eastbound. The last time that we talked, we had the left lanes blocked on 410 east near Starcrest. A little bit after that, it turned into the right lanes being blocked. So we have heavy work over here being done near the exit to Alamo Heights. In fact, that exit to Alamo Heights is actually going to be blocked because we have this huge equipment here, this huge crane. So just know that we could see some delays later this morning on 410 eastbound between Starcrest all the way up to I-35 this morning. RJ.
Okay, good to know for all of our folks over in Alamo Heights and Terrell Heights as well. Jay Horn.
All right.
Miss me, Justin?
I did, of course I did. Welcome back, RJ. All right, Hurricane Eric. Wow, what I would say this is actually a pretty big surprise. We expected this to become a Category 2 hurricane. Instead, it became a Category 4 hurricane. Look how well defined it was. This was yesterday evening, by the way, with the eye. This thing intensified very, very quickly. And as of right now, winds are still at 140 miles per hour. Now, it is starting to look a little more ragged as it's starting to interact with land here, very near landfall in the state of Oaxaca, there in Mexico on the west coast. But it's moving northwest at about 9 miles per hour. And again, this is going to cause, I think, some big issues. Storm surge, very heavy rain, obviously some very strong winds. So these are all things that they'll be watching here along the west coast of Mexico. This does weaken to a depression by tomorrow, so there will be rapid weakening. But as that happens, you're going to see a ton of rain here. So Acapulco down to, again, the state of Oaxaca, we're talking about a foot of rain or more potentially from this system. All right, outside right now, 79 here in San Antonio. It's warm, it's humid. We do have some of those morning clouds hanging around, and we'll see some off and on clouds throughout the morning, and then those break up and we get sun this afternoon. You kind of know the drill here. It's what we've been through the last couple days. I will tell you there is a possibility of a couple showers along the coast this afternoon. Anything we see is going to be brief and light and quick moving, but can't rule it out. Mainly southeast of San Antonio, but every now and then some of these showers can survive all the way up to the I-35 corridor. That's why we have a 10% chance in the forecast. But if you see one of these showers, consider yourself lucky. It's like winning the lottery because they'll be few and far between. Forecast today, 86 noontime, 90 at 2 o'clock, 93 at 4 p.m. Heat index, by the way, will be up near 100 yet again. The upper level flow shows we have our heat high that moves away from us. And in fact, coming up next half hour, we'll show you that movement of that high means some places are going to be much hotter than we are, not the usual spots you would expect. Again, that's next half hour. But the 7-day forecast here shows rain chances across the board, yes, but they're all very small. Maybe a little better opportunity next week. All right, our Just Ask Justin question this morning, because the mosquitoes are out in full force. Why do mosquitoes draw blood from humans and animals? What's the purpose of that? Is it to stay hydrated? To help in digestion? Is it for wing development or to produce eggs? You can vote. KSAT.com/poll. Scan the QR code. We'll see what your mosquito knowledge is.
See, I thought them jokers were just hungry. They didn't know they had health benefits to it. Like,
I thought they always like laid eggs. When I was younger,
get that type O, man. You lose some weight.
For a reason.
Okay, Justin, thank you. 521. It is 79 degrees outside.
All right, a big change could be coming to your iPhone. That and more in today's Tech Bites coming up after the break.
In today's Tech Bites, new details on a foldable phone from Apple. A respected analyst says Apple has plans to make a folding version of the iPhone next year. The foldable phone is expected to come with premium pricing. Apple has not commented on the report. Waymo is taking its first crack in New York City, filing a permit to begin testing autonomous taxis. But unlike in Phoenix, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Austin, the company's New York rollout will begin with trained drivers behind the wheel. The company is advocating for changes to state law that would pave the way for full robo-taxi testing. Finally, the head of OpenAI claims that Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg wants to poach some of his employees, offering them $100 million bonuses. Apparently, no one has taken the offer yet, but Zuckerberg is reportedly working on projects involving superintelligence. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Low down, low down, low down. We got some good news to share with you guys.
Yes.
Hero fans, check it out. We now know when the pop singer's new concert will kick off. It's happening July the 5th at 7:30. And you may remember, again, her concert had to be rescheduled for last week, was abruptly called off due to issues with her stage. If you had those tickets for the show, they are still good for this new show. So that is awesome.
I feel bad for the folks that like drove up from there was folks that drove like 4 or 5 hours to go to the show. So hopefully they can come back or at least get their money back.
And my argument is that they had that stage out. They could have checked that stuff a long time ago.
Yeah,
Somebody probably dropped the ball with letting people know, oh, shoot, you were supposed to tell them this got canceled, because if I remember correctly, they called it off like an hour prior before.
It was like 30 minutes.
Yeah, so.
I was on my way there. It was like 30 minutes, and I was like, oh, okay, that's not good. Yeah.
Okay, well, reschedule.
Well, we're back. Yeah.
5:25 right now, 79 outside.
The San Antonio Food Bank is suing a New Braunfels nonprofit. How much the food bank says the nonprofit owes them for delivered meals.
And ahead on GMSA at 6, we got hundreds who are dead, including the top Iranian commanders and Israeli civilians. What happened overnight as both countries continue with deadly strikes. All right, we're kicking this half hour off with breaking news again. Earlier in the show, we did tell you that there was some fatal news that we got coming into our newsroom.
Yeah, unfortunate news here. A deadly house fire over on the near northwest side. That's going to be off of 410 and Babcock, and Patty Santos has been there live for us on the scene, and she's continuing to gather some information. So let's go to Patty right now, who is out there. Again, a deadly house fire early on this Thursday morning. Patty, what can you tell us?
Yeah, this happened in a neighborhood near Babcock and 410. I want to show you the house right now. This is on South Hill Road. We know that a woman in her late 70s and a dog died in this fire. The police department tells us it was somebody who was driving by, a neighbor who was driving by, who saw the smoke and called the fire department. It was 2 police officers that showed up very quickly. Within minutes, they tried to make it into the house, but they just could not enter because of all the smoke that was inside. Once the fire department got in, they were able to get in, and they did get the elderly woman, but unfortunately she was already gone. At this point, the investigation is ongoing to find out exactly what started this fire. We also know that Animal Control Services is going to get called in because the woman had other pets, as well as some birds in the back of the house that are okay, but they're going to need some help taking care of that. That is the information we have right now. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Patty, thank you so much. And obviously, our hearts and prayers go out to that lady's family. Right now, good morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us again on this Thursday.
Yes, so glad to be back with you guys.
Yes.
I was back in El Paso for a couple of days, and Justin, it was so dry out there.
Yeah.
I mean, my nose is still recovering from the dry.
How was the dust?
It was rough. It was some of the worst I've seen. Apparently, they had this thing called a haboob that made its way through the west. Yeah, Jeff's just looking at me like, what are you talking about right now?
Yeah, haboobs.
It's a big
just
dust storm.
giant dust storms. But man, yeah, it's still very dry out there. Versus where we've actually gotten some rain here. And so the difference, now that you're back in San Antonio, RJ, you'll go from dust to molds.
Hey.
That just make you feel even better, doesn't it? 1,360 is where we stand with the mold count. That was yesterday's number, so we get our new one in here in about, I'd say, 2 hours or so. Pigweed and grass are both low. No issues there. So really, it's just molds that we're worried about. Let me show you the futurecast. This is one of our computer models, and it does want to generate a couple of showers this afternoon. This is noontime, actually, so around Howattsville. I'd say, look, if we're going to see anything today, it's probably going to be closer to the coast. If one of these showers can survive all the way up to the I-35 corridor, it likely would be weakened at that point, but we just can't completely rule out a stray downpour this afternoon. If you get one, though, consider yourself lucky. And honestly, this is going to be the kind of forecast and situation that we're going to see over the next really 5 to 6 days. Our forecast today, again, scattered clouds scatter out. 10 a.m., 82, 86 noontime, 93 is our high temperature heat index. Still a problem today. It'll feel like it's up around 100. Not so bad right now, though, if you're heading out the door. Let's check in on the roads and see how they are looking. RJ, what you got?
Yeah, roads looking pretty good, Justin, as we've been mentioning earlier. It is a federal holiday today, so not seeing too many people on the roads right now. 37 at 181 Old Corpus Christi Highway. Traffic looking okay. 35 at Topper Wine. Seen some major delays there. So let's go ahead and go to the maps because the northeast side has been a little bit busy. Let's take a look here. 410 at Parambital Road. Our traffic that's coming towards 410 and 35 still being affected by some overnight construction. And I believe Alex was there a little bit earlier, so he's going to give us some more details here in just a bit. But yes, 35 in both directions here. Southbound traffic, mostly 35 Topper Wine, stretching all the way to parts of Live Oak and Pat Booker, and the 35-1604 interchange for our drivers on the northeast side. Seeing some pretty good delays there for all of our folks out there. So let's go to Alex Gomez right now in Drive Cam for the very latest on the roads and on the ground. Alex, what can you tell us?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. So yeah, just nothing but construction on the northeast side. You got 410 eastbound, you have those lanes. There's lanes on the left side that are blocked, and then eventually near Parambato, the right lanes become blocked. So just be aware for that. And also 35 southbound, that's where I'm at right now. You're gonna have one lane only open all the way down to about O'Connor Road. So we've usually been seeing this area usually clear up around 7 o'clock. So hopefully they can clear out a little bit sooner, because that construction definitely taking its toll this week, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much for that update, Alex. Scanning the streets in Drive Cam for us this morning.
I'm giving you a shot. Don't mess this up.
I'm sorry, and I really am, and I don't know if you believe in God, but I do, and I'm trying to turn to God and just be a better person in general.
Those were the words of an 11-year-old boy who brought a gun and 60 rounds of ammo to Harris Middle School last month, having a face-to-face with the judge and taking a plea deal for 1 year of deferred adjudication. Last month, he was arrested and charged with unlawful carry of a weapon at a prohibited place, which is a third-degree felony.
And now to a Rhodes Middle School student accused of planning a mass attack who could walk free if prosecutors don't file charges against him by next Tuesday. That was decided when he appeared in court. According to SAPD, the student was first arrested last month after wearing tactical gear on campus. Now, his mother, Ashley Pardo, was also arrested in this case. According to police, she brought her son ammunition and tactical gear to help him carry out that attack. For now, the teenager is still in custody, but he'll walk free on Tuesday if the DA's office does not file charges. Now, if that happens, charges could still be filed later.
So the San Antonio Food Bank suing a New Braunfels nonprofit for allegedly failing and refusing to pay for delivered meals. Court documents show that the food bank filed a lawsuit on Thursday against the Comal County Senior Citizens Foundation, and the lawsuit states that under a written agreement, the food bank delivered meals through its Meals on Wheels program. Well, the food bank alleges that the foundation owes more than $300,000 in unpaid meal deliveries, and now is seeking to recover that amount along with interest, attorney fees, and court costs. KSAT has reached out to both organizations. Got the food bank declined to comment, and the foundation has not yet responded. Many are wondering if San Antonio drinking water would be safe if a controversial Northwest Side development were to go into place. Well, Sarah Acosta spoke with a UTSA professor who says absolutely not.
Okay, this is the very latest here in the Guajalote Ranch housing development, and if that were to happen, a water treatment plant would have to be put into place. And here's a bit of their conversation and why this professor believes the water wouldn't be safe to use or drink, or how it could hurt us in the long run.
The biggest concern is if this project was to happen and they build this waste plant, is that water safe to drink, especially for all of San Antonio residents?
The short answer is no. It's not safe to drink.
Dr. Salgado Data is a professor of hydrology and geochemistry and the chair of UTSA's Department of Earth and Planetary Sciences. He has been following the Guajalote Ranch development plan to go into Northwest Bexar County that would sit on Helotes Creek watershed that feeds into the Edwards Aquifer. If the development happens, it would bring 2,900 homes on approximately 1,100 acres west of Scenic Loop and Babcock Roads, which would require a wastewater treatment plant for San Antonio drinking water. Neighbors have been fighting this development because of the impacts on the environment and the water quality for 1.6 million people. Dr. Dada says residents are rightfully concerned about drinking treated sewage water. He says drinking treated sewage water needs to be thoroughly cleaned.
The trouble is that when they build up with time, that needs to be treated properly by these wastewater treatment plants, which that's what they are supposed to do. But sometimes this treatment process is not flawless.
Even if the water is perfectly cleaned, the chemicals used to treat that water are even more harmful to the human body.
The terminal part of it, which we don't want to see for sure, is the developing the, say, carcinogens or cancerous. And these are, almost all these chemicals have a potential for going in that direction.
On top of that, the treated water doesn't always clean out forever chemicals in wastewater, which can also cause things like cancer.
They will actually start corroding some of the organs that we have, and that leads to some of the cancerous diseases that we see.
That water would also be used to irrigate local farms, spraying those forever chemicals onto our food. He says as a whole, this also impacts the entire watershed and aquifer system, disrupting the ecosystem.
The whole ecosystem will be affected, and in that ecosystem stays the human health. That will be affected.
Dada says an unhealthy ecosystem means unhealthy humans in the long run. Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News.
All right, outside with live cam, just a few morning clouds out there. It's going to be a pretty similar day to yesterday. Something interesting, though, we're watching this weekend. Our heat high is going to shift up to the Great Lakes, and temperatures up there will actually be warmer than they are here. We'll show it to you coming up.
All right, Justin, well, coming up, we're taking a closer look into the businesses that these kiddos are running right here in San Antonio. We're going to tell you what they're selling at the Pearl.
And construction crews take no days off. But coming up after the break, we're going to let you know about the new area where we're seeing some closures and delays.
We're here with Kim from the Humane Society, and you have a beautiful, beautiful
I
kid.
know. This is Cosmo. So Cosmo
Love
is...
the name.
I know, right?
Because I'm a Seinfeld fan.
We did it just for you.
Yes, Cosmo Kramer.
Cosmo
if you're not familiar.
Kramer.
But anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Tell me about Cosmo.
So Cosmo is a little 2-month-old, sweet little orange kitty cat that came in, was one of our fosters. So was brought in, was a little too tiny, so went to foster and is now ready to find their forever home and is all sweet and cuddly right now.
That's awesome. So, and these cats and dogs that go to these fosters, I suppose it could help a little bit, right? Because they get accustomed to being around people and families. And
exactly.
They're
they
great
can get
to adopt.
acclimated, everything. And so they love that. And then it also helps too for them if they've got some sort of a little bit of an anxiety, just to be around a different environment.
Sure.
So get out of the shelter.
Yes, and you guys are always in need of fosters, right? I mean,
Yes, we are. We're always in need of fosters. So especially this time because the summer months, people are traveling. But yes, if you want to be a foster, you can go to our website and sign up for it.
That's a cool way to have a pet for a little while.
And we give you all the supplies too. So we teach you everything. We give you all the supplies and check in. So yeah,
sweet
little Cosmo.
All right, so what do you guys got going on right now?
So we have our vaccination clinic. So if you need to get low cost vaccinations, this is for everybody. We can do that for you. So that is anything from microchipping to heartworm. You can get your Bordetella, your rabies vaccinations. Everything's on our website, and you can make an appointment and then come see us.
That's awesome because all that stuff's so important.
It is very
when you're getting your
important.
pet to get all that done and microchipping and
you want to keep them healthy, especially during the summer months when things can be going around. So you want to make sure they're healthy and they're fun. So,
great. So go check that out. Go adopt Cosmo.
Yes, come see Cosmo.
Yes. All right. What's the information for?
So if you want to come see us, it's 4804 Fredericksburg Road, or you can go to our website, sahumane.org, and we're open 12:30 to 7.
Awesome, Kim. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a cute kitten right there. Okay, it's 5:47 right now. You might have seen them or bought something from them already. We got kid vendors at the Pearl, and these are child entrepreneurs, and they're the ones handing out the money or handling the money and speaking to customers.
So we have a natural, all natural bath and body care line that we handcraft ourselves. Our daughter, we have 3 daughters, she's our oldest. They help create everything that we have on our table. This time is going to be kid-centered, so any kid entrepreneur are the ones that are in the center of it, and the parents are just here to support them.
Hello. We did hand fans, magnets, bookmarks, and a coaster set with napkin holders. And then for the bookmarks, we also painted it and put string right here. I had this economics fair in my school, and it was like we could sell them. So my mom said, "Oh, why don't we make like fans too?" And like for this, the Pearl.
My daughter here, she's an entrepreneur herself. She runs her own lemonade business. She has over 50,000 followers on Instagram. Helps grow them, helps them with real life experiences, interactions with adults, interactions with other kids, teaching them everyday values. It's a wonderful thing that the Pearl hosts here.
That is so awesome. I like seeing kids kind of get in and do the adult thing as far as.
Hi, Justin.
There we
Hi,
go.
sorry, I didn't know I
Yeah.
was supposed to be over here.
But no, seriously, you know, they're
Do
doing.
they take Venmo, Zelle?
Right. They got these
ASAP?
skill sets that a lot of adults are still learning how to do nowadays.
Yeah.
So having that type of activity is so great, especially before the summer.
You're right. It's cool they have that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have liked that as a kid.
Yes, and the weather looked great out there for them.
It did. A little hot, but they had tents, so they, a little protection there from the sun. Hey, the drought monitor is going to come in today, and I'm very interested to see what it's going to look like. We're expecting that update around 8:30 or 9 because this is going to take into account those big rains that we saw. Now, note that the drought monitor is actually, it's hand-drawn, so the folks that put this together, they look at a lot of different factors, lake levels, soil moisture, a lot of stuff to come up with this drought monitor. But we've been in exceptional drought for a long, long time. And again, that update's coming up a little bit later today. We're going to share that with you as soon as we get it. High pressure is cranking up the heat out west. These are the forecast temperatures today. 114 Phoenix, 108 in Vegas. These are basically the same kind of numbers we were looking at yesterday. So a lot of heat out there, but this heat high is starting to shift. It will move over Texas and then move to the north and east. So for a couple days, it will bring us, warmth. The temperatures really don't change that much for us. But as this thing migrates up to the north and northeast, which is kind of a rare position, I'd say, for this thing, it is really going to crank up the heat up across the Midwest and the Great Lakes to levels that they're not so used to. So let's go to Sunday, okay? We're talking about the second half of the weekend here. 94 is the forecast in San Antonio, but look at the highs up around Pittsburgh, Louisville, Chicago, St. Louis. All these places could potentially be hotter than what we're dealing with here in Texas. Pretty incredible stuff. Even Omaha, 101. So there's going to be a lot of heat in places that they're not necessarily used to it. And we look at the precipitation outlook, by the way, as we get into the latter part of June. It looks like the monsoon will start to kick in out west. So El Paso, which has been dealing with the dust, may actually get some rain out of this. This happens as we get into the summer. You get the flow that comes up into parts of Arizona and New Mexico. For us, there's just a very slight chance of maybe slightly above average rainfall. But for us, I think it's mainly going to be the sea breeze stuff and just some light showers coming in from the coast. Nothing significant. 78, 8 o'clock, 10 a.m., 82. Noontime, 86. And we make our way up to 93 this afternoon. Just a 10% chance of a shower or storm. 93 tomorrow as we officially go into summer. 92 on Saturday. 94 Sunday. You get the idea here. Temperatures are very consistent. We do bring the rain chances up just a hair next week. Okay. Mosquitoes. They're everywhere. Is that what they sound like?
That's what they sound like.
Okay. Why do mosquitoes draw blood from humans and animals? There's a reason for this. Is it to stay hydrated? Is it to help in digestion? Is it for wing development? Or is it to produce eggs? You can vote ksat.com/poll. Scan the QR code right now. Eggs are winning.
Thank you for that
You're
biology.
speechless.
I am, because I'm just like, I didn't know it was
That one's for
specific
wing
reasons.
development?
I just think they do it just to be malicious, because them jokers like to bite
to
at the
get on
worst inconvenient times.
Do you attract mosquitoes?
Do I attract?
Yeah, do you attract them? There's some
Oh.
people that generally attract them more than others.
Well, I am.
Oh.
Okay, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Let's get to this weather.
Okay, let's take a look here. 35 at Topper Wine. Still dealing with some major delays here for our southbound drivers that are making their way through parts of the northeast side of town. And you see off to the distance there, we do have some construction units still on the scene over here, and does not look like they're going to be leaving anytime soon. So as Alex reported earlier, it looks like hopefully by 7 o'clock they could clear out some of this activity out there for our drivers on the northeast side of town. Let's take you to the maps and show you some of the backup that we're seeing at this moment. And this has gotten a little bit worse over the past 20 minutes or so. So we're now past Topper Wine, past basically the 35-1604 interchange right there. And this, of course, is all part of the NEX Central construction that is taking place for our folks on the northeast side of town. A bit of a bummer here for your Thursday morning. All right, 210, sorry about that. That's our area code. 410 and Perrin Vital Road. We're still seeing some delays here for our drivers that are going towards 35 here off of 410, but it looks like they're starting to pick up a little bit of construction out here in this part of the northeast side of town. So You know what? Let's go to Alex Gomez right now for the very latest in Drive Cam and see how things are looking on the roads. Alex, what can you tell us?
Well, it's pretty smooth downtown right here, RJ. This is going to be I-37 southbound, but I am going to go back to the northeast side to check on that area on 410 East near Perrin-Battle. Like you said, hopefully they start clearing up soon because that's an area where we don't usually see closures, at least at this hour. So I'm going to go back up there and see what I can find for you, RJ.
All right. Thank you very much for that update, Alex.
It is 5:54 right now. We got 79 degrees outside and still a lot more ahead on GMSA.
All right, welcome back, 5:57. Quick check of Drive Cam right now. We have construction going on the northeast side of town over by 35 at Topper Wine and also Perrin-Battle. We're going to be right back with another check of traffic and weather.